These are the 5 sad things about Kaizer Chiefs fans that everyone is noticing at us. And I will say this, they are one of the reasons, 5 reasons, why Kaizer Chiefs have not won anything in the past 8 years. And the first thing is that we are so attached to our history that we forget the present. Like, I think that boasting is normal, Uguti. We are talking about our history, Uguti. We have won most cups than anyone. But currently, that's not a reality. And sometimes I feel like our expectations are based on our past successes. Is that wrong? Absolutely not. But the problem is, because of those things, we then end up thinking of Kaizer Chiefs as if it's Kaizer Chiefs in 2002, but it's Kaizer Chiefs in 2024 who are going to play against Sundowns, and they are scared out of their pants because they are looking at the opposition team and they are looking at Sundowns the same way the teams were looking at Chiefs back in 2005. And now when we see Kaizer Chiefs not performing like the prime Kaizer Chiefs that we're used to, then we're like, why are they doing this? Because we're a big team. Funny enough, if you look at the quality that Kaizer Chiefs has and the quality that Kaizer Chiefs had back then, you can clearly see that there is a huge quality, like player for player. You take Unengo Masha, you compare him with all our defensive midfielders, nowhere near. Thabo Mook, you compare him with Abo Martin, Abo Castillo, nowhere near. You look at our wingers, Abo Shabalala, Bebe Scorer, Be Creator, Sinabo Sahile Manje, nowhere near. So it's clear that our historical expectations are currently also beating us up because the club is no longer living up to the same standard in terms of getting players or promoting players from development. And because of that, we are kind of in trouble. And the second thing, obviously, that's causing this thing, Uguti, even though we are still attached to our history, it's not just our history, man. It's our identity. Like, how many of you would sit there and say that you started supporting Chiefs when you were a little kid? Most of us will say that. Like, we identify with Chiefs so much that at some point, I didn't even want to wear Adidas things. Why? Because Adidas was the sponsor of Orlando Pirates, and the only thing, label thing that I wanted to wear was Nike. Why? Because Nike was sponsoring Chiefs. So from a young age, everything that Chiefs was identifying with, we were like, yeah, that's Kaizer Chiefs. And you can't just say, I'm going to leave my team because they are not playing well. It's difficult to say. And we hate, like me as a content creator, I hate the fact that I have to come here and talk about negative things about Chiefs because they are my club. And no one wants to talk about negative things about someone that they love, the club that I love. Every day, since I make videos every day, it's just difficult, and it's our identity. So we're definitely going to defend our club from time to time when we see that someone is coming at us, although they're not really making it easy for us to defend them now, are they? Anyways, number 3 is the fact that we have found a way of blaming everyone else but the club. Let's take, for example, people will say the coaches suck, the coach is this, the coach is that. But I'm thinking to myself, we had Gavin Hunt, who was taking the club to the final of the Champions League. They fired him. Like, why did they fire Gavin Hunt? The man was going to win as a star. They fired him. And yet some people still found a way of saying our Hunt was wrong because he wasn't getting us top 8. But the man, that's what tends to happen. If you are playing in the Champions League and in the league, one will suffer. If you don't get knocked out early in the Champions League, then you are going to suffer in the league. Yet Kaizer Chiefs fired him, and we didn't blame him. And our coping mechanism is like, everyone else is wrong but our club. Hunt was wrong, Jabulo Plum's agents were wrong, Arrows are wrong because they don't want to sell us players, Sundowns is wrong because they are buying all the good players. Everyone is wrong. And you know what happens with addicts? They say that if they cannot, or they are not admitting that there is a problem, they can never deal with the problem. And this is not just about addicts, it's about any problem that you have in life. If you don't admit that there is a problem, then you are never going to address it. And for most people, they are now moving from it's the coaches to it's all the players. Let's sell all the players. I mean, as much as obviously Shabalala is a better player than Usaile, as much as Umbesuma is a better player than all of our strikers combined, but there is no way that all of the players that we have currently are so bad they can't be coached to being at least very close to the players that I'm talking about. Because Ushabalala had the technique, he had some pace, but not the pace that Saile has. I'm not comparing the two, but I'm saying that if you coach Usaile, he could close the gap a bit. I don't think he can be like Ushabalala, but he can close the gap with some better coaching. But then again, who's selecting the coaches? It's the management. And that's the thing that we have not addressed, Uguti. Actually, our biggest issue that we should be addressing is the management. Instead, we're just scapegoating everyone and saying it's him, it's that one, and other teams. And we're not looking inside and saying, you know what, Mutaungs, get your house in order, man, because of the things that you are doing, we are suffering. Number 4 is the fact that we see ourselves as a better footballing club because we are better commercially. That's hats off to Jessica Mtaung. You look at the Chiefs now, Seven and Masimba Chiefs. You look at the Chiefs, the partnerships that they have. Even right now, we have a very, 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 very poor team in terms of performances. Yet it's the club that is most attended. When you watch Kaizer Chiefs games and you watch Pirates and you watch Sundowns, Chiefs will have more fans attending any game, except that in this recent derby there were more Orlando Pirates fans, which means the agenda of saying that let's not go to stadiums is kind of working, because a lot of people are now not going to stadiums, except snitches like me who still go to every game because I have to make content for you, because if I don't go, then anyways, that's not the point. The point is, for the most part, we see ourselves as superior, as the trailblazers. We lead, they follow. Like, for example, recently, Evanga was talking about how he had agreed to sign a contract with Kaizer Chiefs. And then he says Kaizer Chiefs changed that deal and they were now offering him less money, right? And then his agent was like, no, let's not go to Chiefs anymore. But even that less money is apparently more than what our Orlando Pirates and the other team that wanted him were offering. So it's like Chiefs were going to, let's just say, they were going to pay him initially 200,000, but then they reduced it to 150,000, and Pirates were offering him 100,000. That's just an estimation, Uguti. The way that it says that, Uguti, the money that Pirate offered was still lower than the lower offer by Kaizer Chiefs, which then makes people say, oh yeah, Vele Kaizer Chiefs pays you well, they take care of you. And Velabo Tusopala coming out and saying, yeah, Kaizer Chiefs take care of you, Kaizer Chiefs are so professional. It then shows you, Guti, Vele, we see the club as superior to everyone in how they do things, and in a way that ends up covering for a multitude of their sins that they are committing against us. But then again, there is also the fact that on top of just paying well and having everything look well, like a upper kit and whatnot, there is also just the thing, Yoguti, the Kaizer Chiefs brand is big. Sundowns are so dominant, but they're still nowhere near what Kaizer Chiefs are, which is a shame in a way if you're thinking pure football wise, because you would think that after working so hard they should be getting closer to Chiefs. But then again, Chiefs did not build this dynasty in 10-15 years. It was a long time coming, and we've earned, and they've earned to be here, which is kind of backfiring right now because we're still thinking we're superior, but we are not. Number 5 is the fact that, the problem with mainstream media, the reason why I don't like it so much is the fact that abanye babuye baqamba manga, ne? They also lie, and you understand why, because I won't say who said this to me. Someone said to me, you might want to say a few nice things about Chiefs so that they recognize you, and then they can I was like, no, I'm never gonna compromise anything that I say just because I want to please them. If I think Chiefs are doing bad, I'm going to say Chiefs are doing bad. Whether they see these videos and think I'm being negative or whatever, I don't care. If they're playing horrible, I'm going to say they're playing horrible. There are a lot of videos in this channel where I also say Chiefs are doing good in this. Just yesterday, I released a video about the development players and how good Chiefs produce players in that development. So if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. I don't have to lie and stand in the middle so that I can please Chiefs. But if you look at the mainstream media, like indaba zenza bavele bakhulume and try to sugarcoat things because at the end of the day, you don't want to rub Chiefs the wrong way because they're influential and stuff like that. And that thing, it funnels down to us, Uguti. Oh no, the pundits on channel so and so said Chiefs were playing well while they were playing nonsense. And because of that, we end up feeding into this perception, Yoguti, Chiefs are actually doing well while they are nowhere near where they're supposed to be. So I feel like it should also be the responsibility of the pundits, the former players of Kaizer Chiefs, legends, proper legends, to come out and say, you know what, Chiefs are not doing well. The management should think about moving along or finding someone else to do the job because they are clearly struggling. All these things should be addressed. We should stop saying, oh, teams pull up their socks when they play against Chiefs. So you're telling me that in the last 32, the teams, the Milford team were like, yes, let's perform. This is our best match ever. And yet when they win the last 16, they were like, you know what? We've already beat Chiefs. Who cares? I mean, come on. Let's switch on, guys. But what do you think? What do you think is the saddest thing about us, Kaizer Chiefs fans? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals at Pelumo.